landing 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes, please.
Remember, correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type PC12 slam code, request clearance to Vegas S file.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and I'll be full route standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport via Flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Plus 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3. Initially climb 7,000, expected for 0F25, departure 126 squawk 6316 plus 465.
Plus 4658, reback is correct. Tango India Mike, taxi to the ground via Echo and English frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left traffic, left downwind runway 26 left, report base.
Enter left downwind for 26 left and record your base, 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242 on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base shortly.
United 242 Jolly Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170, number 3.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Panama Tower, King Alpha 208 Kilo, ILS 54.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 11.
The land,
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 7 Charlie Alpha, thank you.
Palm Springs ramp plus 4658 east ramp with weather going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report miss.
November 2903 Alpha, clear low approach, runway 9, next report is different.
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go 3 and right at Bravo.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 3 and right plus 465.
Panama Tower, King Alpha 208 Kilo, located at 24.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, roger, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Via Alpha to
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking base.
Number 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
Number 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed.
November 2903 Alpha going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying the published mid-approach procedure, November 2903.
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency will be 135.4.
135.4 for departure, November 2903 Alpha.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound ILS 26 left.
Number 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower. Good afternoon, Ontario. Wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction, 516 Delta Mike, clearly active at uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, roger, taxi on the south ramp via Sierra. Remain on this frequency.
Via Sierra on this frequency, 6 Delta Mike.
Riverside Tower, good evening,
2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, runway 27, clear to land.
Clear to land on runway 2703 Alpha. Riverside ground, November 2903 Alpha. In Alpha, request taxi to the transient parking.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside ground. In the future, don't switch to the ground frequency unless you're told to do so. You should stay with tower, exiting the runway all the way to the hold stroke point. Stay on this frequency for now, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Taxi to ramp via Alpha. Rocket. Number 2903 Alpha.
General clear. General clearance. November 6th. Charlie Mike Cherokee. I would like to attempt the I-4 rating today.
Cherokee 76 Charlie Mike, jawline clearance. Good evening. Good luck on the I-4 destination. Will be, let's go, Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo.
That's Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo. 6 Charlie Mike.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
I'm going to sign off and collect some information for this destination. I'll sign back in. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Just report when you're back with the I-4. And how long do you think it'll be? It's not going to be more than an hour, is it?
No. I have to file and get some charts and plates.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll still be here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we'll look for your flight plan to come through. And we should clearance them.
Las Vegas Tower plus 4658 unusual 1 on the right, 4500.
Plus 4658 Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, clear to land, wind 1807.
Clear to land, 19 right, 4658.
Plus 658 exit right, taxi into the ramp via hotel, remain on this frequency today.
Exit right, ramp via hotel, ramp frequency 58 468.
Ground number 953 Whiskey Alpha's Piper Comanche PA24/Alpha. Taxi the active VFR east departure with weather.
Calling Long Beach Ground, need you to verify your call sign, please.
Sorry about that. 916 Whiskey Alpha, November 916 Whiskey Alpha.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Ground, roger. And just confirm VFR eastbound.
Eastbound and repeat east ramp just south of runway 25.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, roger. Runway 26 right, taxi via Kilo.
Okay, 25 right via Kilo, 916 Whiskey Alpha. Long Beach Tower, November 916 Whiskey Alpha, holding short of 25 right Kilo, ready for departure via Fargo East.
Number 916 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Tower, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, right downwind departure approved.
Clear for takeoff 25 right, right downwind departure 6 Whiskey Alpha.
Good day, Palm Springs, ground scanning Hotel Tango, East Red, India, close traffic, runway 31 right.
Papa Hotel Tango, do you Mike? Palm Springs ground, say again aircraft type.
For a Cessna Sky.
Skyline Tango, do you Mike? Thank you, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Echo and Bravo, 31 right, Papa Hotel Tango.
We're 791 Juliet, towards ground left, clear.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet, we see there's no clearance delivery with this field, so would we get our departure instructions with tower or with ground?
Always go with the lowest, so we'll start with ground. Just say your intentions.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet, type Cessna 172 on the south hangars with the numbers requesting VFR advisories to John Wayne.
Number 791 Juliet, roger, departure frequency 134.9er, squawk 2061.
1249, that's 2061, squawk 791 Juliet.
Got 991 Juliet, read back is correct. Are you ready to taxi now?
In a couple of minutes, just gotta go around to the side. Okay, Sky 791 Juliet, south hangars now ready to taxi.
Sky 791 Juliet, roger.
Hey guys, happy Tuesday! It's time for some flying, partial instrument flying today, at least for me. Scotty, good to see you. Yeah, you were first. Good morning. John Fly, thanks for the auto host. Pilot, NGB, hello. AJ, also thank you for that host. Boyington, hey, hello. Alrighty, so I've got about 1.5 hours of free spare time here after work to again further develop my instrument flight skills. And that's important because I need those skills in order to be a proper hand-flying IFR pilot, and that's the goal as part of my Season 2 series. So even though this doesn't include any fancy procedural flying, it's just the fundamentals to how to fly in IMC, zero visibility on instruments. In addition, failed instruments, so a vacuum system failure or that stuff. So again, I've got my iPad here, the X-Plane Control Pad app on iOS. Wonderful app, also made by Laminar. If you are on the same Wi-Fi network, so the computer, desktop computer is on the same Wi-Fi network as your iPad here, the app just seamlessly connects, and you can by just clicking a button get any kind of failure going that you like. A horizontal, the artificial horizon failure, a vacuum failure. You can also change the weather. You can change your weight and balance. You can even restart a flight from a totally different altitude or location. It's a wonderful app, really versatile and so handy when you're trying to learn how to fly with partial instruments in my case. Also in the future episode, I'm hoping in the next stream, not for today, when I feel comfortable flying on my instruments and with partial instruments, then Mrs. Uncertified will also join me. She can also join me in the next room while she's watching some Netflix series and hit those buttons randomly so I can deal with those here in the cockpit. So it's also a wonderful app for instructors or mentors or coaches. So that's why. Thanks for that follow, Tonic. Thank you and happy Tuesday. Henrik, good to see you. Evanek, good to see you. Welcome on board. Hoping you're doing okay. All right, so that's going to be the idea of today. Some interesting news, some wonderful news. At least that's what I think about it. It's now official. I have become a Simcoders partner. So if you now visit simcoders.com and look at the Cessna 172 wrap package, you can see me mentioned there as a proud partner. We're going to collaborate and further spread the word on the fun and educational value of flying with the rep. As from now on, I will fly with the rep in all my streams here in my Cessna 172. So I'm so proud to be partnered up, and we have some really exciting ideas to also bring you a lot more educational content and stuff. Also just to promote Simcoders, because I just love to fly with the package. But also to provide more in-depth tutorials and stuff about real-world flight training, because that's what the Uncertified Pilot is all about. Hey Dad, good to see you. Yeah, thank you guys. That's indeed so cool. It's really cool. Alrighty, so that means that I'm now, I need to really use my time here. We are again on Oceano. Very briefly, I will show you the map for those who don't know. Oceano is again the nostalgic starting airfield, a non-towered airfield, where PilotEdge refers starting flight simmers to start their VFR training. And that's also why I picked this airport for my first streams here in Season 2 to get used to instrument flying. So we are here in Echo airspace. We got San Luis Delta airspace north of us, which we are not planning to go to. We're going to fly in Echo space all the time and do our maneuvers and stuff in overcast. I preset the weather. Thick overcast layer, which is going to be always a little bit more challenging and difficult, also more realistic and fun than flying in marginal VMC or VMC. This time I'm also going to mess around with my airspeed indicator to see if that confuses things while I'm flying, or how I can infer or stabilize my airspeed without an airspeed indicator. Looking at the RPM and just listening to the engine, which I'm looking forward to see how that works. Again, I'm going to practice flying with a failed, broken artificial horizon. Also, I'm going to fly on the heading indicator, or the compass, I should say. And there was another thing that I was interested about. Oh yeah, the timed turns I also like to try. So in case I've got a vacuum failure, or my head indicator is not working and I do not feel like flying on the magnetic compass, you can also do turns based on time turns using the turn indicator. because you know with a standard rate turn, you make a 360-degree turn in 2 minutes, so 3 degrees each second. And you can just use the clock. Oh my gosh, the clock. That's not a good thing. But for me, I think it's important to, again, stress the importance of the clock. I can use the clock to make a timed turn to, let's say, make a 30-degree or 90-degree or 180-degree turn. I'd like to see how that works, just to have a feel for that, in case Keith will mess us up. I know he's on holiday right now, so he will not jump aboard, perhaps on his mobile phone. Perhaps he also has a control pad connected somehow to the PilotEdge network, and he can mess me up even while I'm practicing. He's such a fun guy. Boynton, did they take into account your remarks concerning their RT? No, I'm making a list right now of the comments that I shared with you in the last stream. My review of the current version of REP. And yes, I'm going to make a very elaborate comment there and share that with the folks at Simcoders, because I think that feedback is valuable. And I'd like to see it further improved. It's an amazing product. And again, guys, the reason why I partner up with Simcoders is not just because I love the rep and I love to get as much realism in my X-Plane flight sim as possible, but also because it's a wonderful team. They actually listen to us. They have a great support team. They put so much care into their product, and it's something that I recognize. Caring for flight training, caring for realism in flight sim, and that's one of the primary reasons why I'm so proud to be a partner of Simcoders. And obviously I make use of that partnership by giving them all the feedback that I have about further improving the rep. Okay, so Oceano, Echo Airspace, boring. We're not going to mess around with any ATC today, but still it's going to be challenging because I need to nail that instrument flying. So away the iPad goes. The only iPad that I need here is my second iPad here that is set to set those failures. Okay, set overcast at around 1500 feet. So this is not real world weather for training purposes. Wonderful Oceano here. Again, never gets boring. It's such a cute airport. It's a really nice airport, I think. So we're just going to do a straight out departure 29. We're going to head towards the clouds, go into the soup, and have fun. That's the idea. Shift 9. So there we are. Still, I'm just looking at my own overlay stream here, and I'm noticing Belin's subscription of last stream, which is mind-blowing. It's so cool. Really looking forward to do shared cockpit flying with him. All right, so here we are in the cockpit. So let's just first center my tracker yard because it's clearly not centered. Fasten our seatbelts. All right, doors. Let's close our door. Again, parking brakes, are they set? It's hard to see with the yoke there. I can obviously remove it, but hey. Life vest, fire extinguisher, door is closed. DLT is set to auto. This stuff is not interactive. Flap lever is up and our flaps are up. Check whether my Cytec panels actually work, and they are working. Fuel tank set to both. In circuit breakers in. And this stuff is working too. And avionics are off, beacon light is on. At least the switch is flipped on. That's good. Battery is on. We got enough fuel. That's good. First, also, I'd like to just really need to further drill and practice the flight control test, because often I just forget about those, and they are important. Good. My trim is also working. And yeah, awesome. Okay. Avionics on. Looks good to me. Let's also check flaps here. Also, what I'm noticing, by the way, while I'm doing these checks, is actually that now with the rep, we can do the walk around. We should do the walk around. Only for this particular stream, I have limited time. So perhaps I will be very, very sorry, because I know that the rep package generates real world failures. Perhaps we got a failure going on, some kind of static port or whatever that messes us up. Our fuel might be contaminated with water that we would not know without doing that walk around. But still, I'd like to just spend my time today for doing that instrument flying, so that's why I skip it. But now with the web, we can actually do a walk around. Bring up the menu here, and we can start going. But that's something that I'm going to skip here for today. Alrighty, so flaps are down and they Both went down and in sync. That's also important. All right, mode C is good to me. We don't need navs. Frequencies 1 to 3.0. That doesn't seem right. It's 1 to 2.7 at Oceano. Switch. We are connected to PilotEdge. Yes, we are. Alrighty. Then the annunciator panel seems good. This is an obvious reading because the engine is not running. So that's good. We got fuel, and this is all in sync, I believe. Like 17. It's a little bit more this side. And again, this stuff becomes important. Again, if you are flying IFR, you need to be much more precise with your headings. It also concerns VFR flight, obviously, but also as part of instrument training, the margins also for your check ride become much more narrow, much more stringent, which is cool. Okay, so that's checked and seems good to me. So avionics off before we start our engine. Again, with the rep, if you start up or shut down your engine while the avionics are off, there might be also in the rule a power surge from the engine to your avionics, and they might damage your radios. And that's why it's important to turn off your avionics before you start up or shut down your engine. That's now simulated. That's awesome. So avionics off. Batteries obviously are still on. Fuel pump on. Again, on. Just see that first hit. No, I can see what I did wrong. I should also put in my throttle just a tiny bit, which is also, I'm interested, a little bit curious about the physics of that. Why actually the throttle needs to be a little bit on for the fuel pump to work and to see a fuel flow. I guess I need to study that a little bit more. I did see a little bit of a fuel flow there, but not much. And the manual here of the rep recommends us to go to 3 to 5 gallons per hour. So that would be somewhere around there. So what I now did is just put in 1/4 inch of throttle. Thanks for the follows, guys. Also Damien, one banger. Thank you. Again, fuel pump is still on. Whoop. There it goes. And cutoff. Should be very, very brief with the current rep. And now I must be able to... Yeah, my pocket brakes are still set. Tanks are set to both. No one is walking around. So clear prop. I think I already flooded my engine because I so briefly already primed my engine the first time, even though it was a very slight fuel flow. And again, I think that that is not really that realistic in comparison, at least to my experience with the 172, also with A2A and other YouTube movies that I've seen. So I would expect now, because my engine is not starting, that I don't have enough fuel. We could also have, or that we flooded the engine. Could also be that I didn't prime my engine enough. But with my test flights, I noticed that you should only prime your engine with the current rep for a second tops. Otherwise, you will flood your engine. I'm guessing that we already flooded the engine, which is a bit unrealistic in this current version. So what I will do is full throttle, mixture full out, and then see if we can start up. Let me see, because now what we're doing is actually burning up using the fuel that's already primed in the engine pipelines, and use that up. And as soon as the engine has enough air to actually start up, we reduce the RPM and give full throttle, give full mixture. That's the idea, at least. Yep, there it goes. Should actually turn my magnetos earlier to both, I guess. But I don't like to see that high RPM when my engine is not running already in the green. If you look at the oil temperature here, if you are going into a high RPM when your engine is cold, you damage your engine because the oil is not lubricating the engine enough, the cylinders and that stuff. So that's quite dangerous. All right, we're leaning. Rich RPM, peak RPM, I mean, back to 1000. That's good. Generator on. And it's rising, that's good. Avionics on, and again we are back. Good. Yeah, teammate. Well, I was also tinkering then with the startup. I did many variations of the startup, and I didn't need to keep the fuel pump on to get it started. The only thing that I noticed was that I need to be very, very brief with the fuel pump, or at least with the mixture full in. At least when it just hits the 5 gallons per hour, then immediately cut off the mixture. Otherwise, you will flood your engine. And you can see now with my startup procedure for this flight, you can see how quickly you flood the engine, and that's a little bit inaccurate in my case. So again, that's feedback that Simcoders will be very much welcoming, I think. Okay, so engine is started and is gradually warming up. That's good. We don't need that much of a briefing. We're just going to taxi to runway 29, which is over there, straight out departure, and we're going to do some practice there. Once we have departed, we're going to fly to 3,000 feet or so. The cloud base here is at around 2,000 or 1,500, I believe. Then we're going to set some failures here so we can practice at partial instrument flying. That's the idea. Alrighty, well, engine is slowly warming up. Once it hits the 75 degrees, we're fine to go low RPM and taxi, which is about now. So release parking brakes, brake test works. Let's cross numbers over this side. Again, love now how the Cessna feels much more stable. It's lagging a bit with the taxi, it feels much more heavy. Here we go. Oceano traffic, Yellow Skyhawk is crossing the numbers at runway 11 here in Oceano, taxiing to runway 29. Oceano. Again, you hear the engine spotter with low RPM, which is so cool. Alright. Again, everything is turning. Tip indicator, turn indicator, attitude indicator is stable. Vacuum is still low, as you can see, but that's what we would expect with low RPM. With the run-up, I'd like to see it to be in the green, obviously. What's also a good check that I didn't do, which I should, as John and Martha taught me with the King School's video course, is you should also have a look at the magnetic compass to see if it's freely turning. Also, you could hand touch the compass to see if it's not leaking or has bubbles in it, which now to me seems much more relevant than with VFR flying, because when shit hits the fan and you've got a vacuum failure, you like to rely on your compass or just do your timed turns, but still, it's an important instrument. So you can see with IFR flying, some additional checks come into play or become more important. Again, now with the external walk around, you would be much more aware of checking your pitot tube if it's not blocked, your static ports. Engine is slowly warming up, but not in the green yet, so that means that we cannot do our run-up, because then we go into high RPM. I don't like to damage my engine. Okay. Again, preset weather, we've got no winds, so that's basic. Yeah, so what I will do is just set it at 1200 RPM. That's barely, I think in the manuals, what I read at least, 1400 RPM is like the threshold before you can talk about, or you can say, well, we're now in high RPM settings. So if you stick below, I would say 1200 RPM, that still counts as low RPM. But it's a little bit more power, so we can further speed up the oil temperature increase. There's also a feature in the rep if you don't have time to wait for that warm-up to hit some button and you instantly got a warm engine. You can start flying right away if you like. Thanks for the follows, guys. Thank you for the follow. Also, BG, Ford. Thanks, guys. Happy Tuesday. Instrument flying today. Yeah, teammate, that's also something that I really, really like with the RPM there. Yeah. Also think that with the airfoil labs, all the needles actually wobble a bit, which I really, really like. I talked with Simcoders about that, and they said that that was actually not that realistic. It's usually the RPM only that wobbles a bit. Obviously with turbulence and that stuff, needles could indeed, all needles could wobble, but just on basic here on the ground it's not the case. And I reviewed a couple of YouTube videos to make sure that was indeed more realistic. But it makes it a lot more lively, I agree. Alright, engine is slowly warming up as I can see. Again, now would be a great time if we do a more complex VFR flight to brief not only the departure, because we just need to allow the engine to warm up, and also if you're on a busy airport, it would be much better protocol or etiquette to warm up your engine at the ramp, because now we're standing here and we are blocking other people if it would be crowded here in the run-up area.
Oceano traffic, scale cover Victor Alpha, crossing runway at number 11, Oceano.
Nice, Evanek is joining. Thank you, Evanek. It's getting cozy here. It would be better just to warm up at the ramp, because then you're not taking any space. Hey, Steeler, good to see you. Welcome on the stream. Yes, Mike Zulu, I did. This is currently the rep, and I'm loving it. Still, critical customer, critical partner. So I'm gathering all the feedback that I can with this current version to let Simcoders know, so we can further nail this package and get as much realism here in the sim as possible. Where is our friend Avanek? Yep, there he comes. Alright, engine is almost in the green. So what I'm going to do is take off, go into the soup and turn off my artificial horizon first. That's a nice one. To see if I can still manage coordinated or constant rate turns and climbs and descents. Then I will also try out the airspeed indicator to block that one to see if I can still do constant speed climbs and descents. Which are not that important, I guess. It's better just to go with a constant RPM. Well, that's new to me. Let's see how that goes. And I would like to turn off the heading indicator and fly on the compass in IMC. And also do some timed turns here with the turn indicator, if we got the time. Already did some practice with instrument flying in the previous streams. Okay, we got green arc there, that's good. So mixture full in 1800s. Again, no unshaded messages. Oil pressure is still all good. Ooh, left mag, you can hear that sound. That means that we got fouled spark plugs. You can also see that the dip in RPM is quite significant. Let's go to the right mag. Yeah, same sound. So back to both. What we do now is go to 2000. If you go full throttle, we'll actually gonna taxi a little bit forward because our brakes are not strong enough. Now let's lean until the engine becomes rough. I think something like this. Again, looking forward to know a little bit more about how the rep works here, and it should be as realistic as possible, but usually it's not like a very steep decrease in RPM. The idea is that we warm up the engine right now, these cylinders, so it burns off the fouling on the spark plugs. It just evaporates because it becomes really, really hot. With the 182 A2A, you could also see the cylinder head temperature, and you really need to look at that cylinder head temperature with such a procedure because you don't want to overheat the engine. The same is true now with the 172, but for 20 seconds that should give us enough heat, should give the cylinders enough heat for these spark plugs to be cleaned. But again, we can also further lean like this. I don't know what rep likes us to see doing.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor was taking off runway 29er. We'll stay in the pattern for some touch and goes. Oceano.
Alrighty, there goes Avanek. So full mixture in. Let's return to 1800 and let's double check. Left mag. Yeah, much better drop. We don't hear that weird sound. And right as well. So we cleaned up our spout blocks. Again, that's wrap for you guys. There goes Avanek. Landing lights on, strobe lights on. We can do one more control. Up, down. Good. Yeah. Just set our heading box to 2.9, I guess. Not that important, but let's wait for him to make a crosswind turn. And then we go straight out and do some practice at 4,000 or so.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha turning left crosswind runway 29, touch and go. Oceano.
Also totally forgot about my RPM here. Should just go idle. Also see whether we don't have any oil pressure. You can see some volt warning there, and that's actually realistic because now we got low RPM. The battery is not charging. Well, that's the reason also during taxi you like to be at plus 800 or 900 RPM, so the engine will still generate enough power for the battery to charge.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha turning left downwind runway 29er, Oceano.
Oceano traffic, Yellow Skyhawk is departing runway 29 for a straight out departure. We're going to head up to 3,000 feet and fly all over the place to do some instrument flying practice turns. Oceano. Alright, mixture full in, lights are on. Fuel tank set to both. Full power. Again, everything's in the green. Airspeed is live. 40. 50. 60. And nose up. Again, pitch down a little bit more to get to VY first. About 79. Trimming also a bit here. Avanek is already on downwind. Keep in that right rudder. Hey, Finish, welcome on the stream. Good.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha turning left base runway 29er, touch and go. Oceano.
Thanks for the follow, 3-4. Welcome on the stream, happy Tuesday. There's our 700s. And back. Thank you for the follow. Oceano traffic, Yellow Skyhawk is now leaving the traffic pattern area to the southwest. We're climbing up to 3,000 to do some practice turns. Oceano. Something like this.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha turning final runway 29er, touch and go. Oceano.
Into the clouds. 1500, I believe I set the clouds. There they come. Love the clouds of the default clouds of X-Plane 11. Also zoom in just a tiny bit here so we see more airspace. Landing lights off. Alright. Artificial horizon. Failure. Thank you. There's a restrictive area just in front. Ah, there we are on the soup. So, we don't have an artificial horizon working for us. As you can see, it is quite confusing. Much more confusing than when you would cover your artificial horizon with some patch. Because now it's providing me with erroneous information, and there's just a reflex in the scan of just looking at the artificial horizon as my primary central instrument to look at, and then get the idea that I need to go for a right turn here and nose down, which is not the case. So let's fly south a bit.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha turning left crosswind runway 29er. Going to depart on the downwind leg, climbing to 3,000 feet. Oceano.
Okay. There goes our climb. Good. Let's keep our climb going and let's go to 120. So standard rate turn, a little bit of a left pedal there. It's a nice standard turn. Look at that soup. This is so cool.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha on the downwind, runway 29er, climbing to 3000 feet, Oceano.
Turn indicator is your friend with a broken artificial horizon. Still, climb is okay. Look at that speed, a little bit too much nose up. Trim down a bit. So I'm really trying to almost gaze at the heading indicator, and in my peripherals have a look at what my turn indicator and my vertical speed is doing to get the same kind of information that my artificial horizon would give me. So far so good. Thanks for the follow with. Alright, 3,500 would be fine for now. And then let's do a, oh, not too much up. Let's do a straight and level turn. Or a level turn, I should say.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha leaving the pattern area to the east, climbing to 3000 feet, going to practice some stalls and spins, Oceano.
Alright. There we go down. A little bit less power. Ah, some broken clouds here, but not for too long. And now we can trim a bit. Oh, that's a little bit too much. Right, first stabilize the airplane. A little bit more RPM there. Airspeed is dropping. Alright, so let's make a turn to 030 at 3,500. So there we go, a little bit of a nose up. And standard rate turn, Tim. There we go. Feel much more at ease already after these few training flights. And keep it standard, Tim. Keep it standard. There we go. And straight and level. Oh. Keep it at 1030, Tim. This is difficult. Guys, I would challenge you to do this in your sim today as well. It's so much fun. Okay, again, I feel that I'm pushing on my yoke. Good. Let's make a direction to 240 and climbing to 4,500. So full power. Left turn. Not too much of a climb, Tim. Keep it standard. You do need to climb. Come on. A little bit of a nose up trim there. Good. It's too much of a turn. A little bit less. And why am I focusing on the standard rate turn is because if I'm going to do timed turns, I need to be precise with it because otherwise my calculations don't. Come on, 240. 240. Great. Thanks for the follow, BF. Oh. Come on, and we're not straight and level. Come on, focus. Focus. 240. Gonna climb. Still pushing on that yoke, I notice. My vertical speed indicator is all over the place. It's not too bad, but it's not that precise. Ah, nice outside view here. which in this case would be a little bit of a cheat. Alright, there comes 4,500. And let's level off. Good. Airspeed increase. Reduce on the RPM. Good. Now let's do a descent to 300 and a descent to 4,000. Alright. Standard rate turn. Again, pulling on that yoke. Seems good. There's 30. Straight on level. Well, I did set an overcast, but it doesn't seem that overcasty to me. It's nice weather though, it's so pretty. Thanks for the follows, guys. P, thank you. Happy Tuesday. Okay. 4,000. Power. Keep it to the left. 300. Down. All right. Well, it's not perfect, but I feel comfortable. Let's move on. Artificial horizon works. Let's now do a airspeed failure. It's now stuck. Let's fly. Yeah, in case of an engine out, we would be a little bit in trouble. Let's go to the right here. To some clouds. Oh, this is pretty. Actual 3D clouds, at least so much more than what I've ever seen in any kind of flight sim. We could actually fly through this hole without going to sudden unexpected IMC here. Reliable cloud depictions, that's good. Let's go a little bit more down here. Seems that the cloud layers are a little bit below. I set them to 9,000 feet, but I guess it's kind of like a sloped ceiling here. GC, are you flying the default X-Plane 11 Cessna? Yes, but with a reality expansion pack by Simcoders, which provides a lot more realism in terms of engine management, the flight model. So that makes your stock 172 much more a study airplane, which is great. Hey, it's gonna give you good to see you as well. Didn't notice you there. Hey, just Alex, welcome on the stream, man. Yes, Finish. I've got a iPad here that does the trick. It's a iOS app, and I can just hit buttons to, through Wi-Fi, enable any kind of failure, which is great. So, let me see, I don't need to go too low here. Where's my iPad? Here, 2700 is. And Santa Maria was 2800, yeah, so as long as I stay above 3000 I will be fine. Okay, in the soup again. So 3,500. Again, so much more easy with an artificial horizon. But my speed is not working. My attitude indicator is broken. So again, I've got RPMs that can tell me something about what I'm doing. I also hear the winds, so you can listen to the engine sound. Also tells you a lot about whether there's something wrong with your airplane. That's something that I did in not the previous stream, but the stream before that, when I noticed an engine failure. But there's also other information. For example, I noticed that I keep climbing. So it seems to me that I'm not on a constant speed, or at least I've got plenty of energy and my airplane likes to rise, likes to climb. St. Louis is over there, where Mrs. Uncertified did her Cat 3 rating. Amazing achievement. And again, now when I look outside, I've got a very good idea of what the airplane is doing, but that's not what the exercise is about. I just like to fly an IMC here.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha, about 5 miles to the south at 3 feet, going to descend to the pattern and join the left downwind for runway 29 for a full stop, Oceano.
Alright. There we go. Again, it's so easy actually to fly an IMC with the artificial horizon. It just makes a huge difference, all the difference. It's almost like looking outside of the window, right? That's what the artificial horizon is about. Okay, so let's guess the airspeed. I'm still climbing. I'm around 2200. I would say my airspeed is now decreasing. I can feel I need to pull on the yoke a little bit more. I would say it would be around a little bit less than this. I would say around 90. Oh yeah! It is 90. And failed again. Let's go faster. A little bit more to the right here because of that restrictive area. You can see full RPM. My airplane likes to climb. You can hear the wind speed sound increase, or in volume.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha, joining the left downwind for runway 29 on 45, full stop, Oceano.
Trimming down. How fast will we be going right now, guys? What do you think? And I will disable the failure to see what we are at. I think already 120? 120. Well, we're close. Close. And failed again. Let's go slow. Let's keep in the clouds here. Again, worrying about
traffic,
that.
Alpha Victor Alpha on the left downwind, runway 29 full stop, Oceano.
Worrying about the restrictive area. Alright, there goes the speed. You can hear it on the windshield. Also, I know by RPM that we are probably slowing down. Also, I need to reset my trim, which is
Oceano traffic,
expected.
Alpha Victor Alpha turning short final, runway 29 full stop, Oceano.
Again, less power. You can see my artificial horizon, my artificial airplane is already pointing up a little bit more in the blue. I would say we would be around 80. Let's go slower. With no flaps. I would say 80. Well, a bit slower even. 70. 75-ish. Interesting. But anyways, I would know. I guess the problem here is when you're flying on ATC and your focus is all over the place on your plates, on talking with the controllers, you might forget to listen. I mean, I'm now my primary focus is on the speed. Also, I know that the airspeed indicator is broken actually. Let's turn it on again.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha clear for the runway, Oceano.
And that's obviously much easier than when you don't know when you actually got an airspeed or a pitot tube failure going on. And that's why in the next stream, the next, well not stage, but the next session of my training, in the next stream, Mrs. Uncertified will enable failures without me knowing, and I need to identify what is going on. And that's much more realistic and fun. Really looking forward to that stream. And hope you do as well. Thanks for the follows, guys. Meyer, Fox, P. Thank you, that means a lot. Okay, what's next? Next is the heading indicator is not working. We're now flying north-ish. Alright, let's fly a little bit to, let's fly to the south. Or to the, no, better would be to the west. Alright, western. We're now flying north, so that would be, west would be 90 degrees. So that would be 30 seconds. A 30-second turn would bring us kind of like near... Alright, and timed. Standard rate turn. So the advantage of doing this with a timed turn is that I don't need to remember all that weird those weird errors on the magnetic compass. A little bit faster than my standard rate turn. 24, 25, 26. And stable. Woohoo! Do you see? That trick works. So, let's reset it. And let's do it one more time. Let's go to the south. No, reset. Oh, that's much too much. Standard rate turn. Now, still it would be important to know how the magnetic compass would work. But I would prefer going to this method first than flying on the magnetic compass. And there we are, and straight and level. And there's south. Oh. That's awesome. Alright, good. Let's enable the heading indicator. Let's do a vertical speed indicator failure. Let's now climb. I guess that this wouldn't be that difficult, but let's go to 5,000. Let's climb and let's go to the west. Yeah, so now, well, it is interesting. Now I would actually use my speed as, and also my altimeter obviously, but mostly my speed to infer whether I'm going up too quickly. Because if I go up too quick, then I would see my airspeed decrease, right? I'm full RPM. As you can see right now, I'm too much pitched up. And again, I've got the outside view. Let's keep turning here to keep in the cloud. Go. I'm loving my... This is so cool. Thank you for the follow. May Yar. Thanks. Happy Tuesday. And again, staying on altitudes. Yeah, you just fly the altimeter and you watch your airspeeds. Also, obviously the attitude indicator also can tell you something about what the speed will do. If I see more ground, I expect that we will descend, right? Okay, let's do a descent to 3,500. Let's trim down a bit. So again, low RPM setting, not too much. If I see my speed increase too much, then I know that I'm pitched down my descent is a little bit too aggressive. So what you can do is actually, also with yaw corrections, go for a constant speed descent. So for example, I could let's go for 100 knots descent, which is a little bit quick, but let's do it. So nose down, and now nose up a bit. It's kind of like catching your VY with departure, right after your takeoff roll. You're in full RPM, so the only way where you can manipulate your speed is by pitch change. So here we are, just keeping my speed at 100 just by changing my pitch. So this to me is actually basic. Interesting. And again, guys, we could have a full total failure here with a pitot tube failure and a vacuum failure, and yeah, then we are very much screwed. Obviously, we still have the GPS that can tell us our heading, not our altitude, I believe. All right, let's stick above 3,000 here. Let's make a right turn. Thanks for the follow, Viao. And Eternal, thanks. Welcome on the stream. There it is, back again. Okay, so far it's good. Now, how much time do I have? I've still got some time on the clock. A little bit more power here. Also, I'm not leaning now because we're doing all of these maneuvers. So perhaps our spark plugs might be fouled. Because we need to lean our engine, or lean our mixture, I mean, to get the right kind of combustion going on in our cylinders. What's next? Peter, you can also use your clock by timing how many feet you gained or descend in 1 minute. That is true, if I've got an altimeter failure. Yeah, that's true. That's true, that's true, that's true. But we don't have an altitude, direct altitude reading in the GPS, I guess. No, that would be quite difficult. Well, I think it feels like I get the idea of instrument flying. Still, it needs some perfection. But I know what I learned is how primary my artificial horizon is, and I'm also noticing that it right now in VFR flight, how that instrument gives me so much information about what I'm doing. So it also helps me to fly better VFR. Thanks, Gongla, for the follow. And I learned three things. Artificial horizon, how important, how primary it is. So I need to center my scan around the artificial horizon. I also learned how incredibly valuable the turn indicator is. Not only to see whether I'm making turns in case my artificial horizon doesn't work, but also to make course changes, time turns, how valuable a standard rate turn is. And I also learned how distracting the vertical speed indicator is. And how much better it is to just focus on these, the T, to infer whether you're climbing or descending, than just trying to hit that performance mark and say I need to be constant with my 500 feet per minute, because if you chase that needle, everything loses. Just stable, small corrections. Thanks for the follow, Izam. Thank you. So let's go into the soup again and let's do some steep turns and then call it a day. And then we can return to traffic pattern, do some traffic pattern flights, and then we close off the stream, have some dinner. At least here locally in the Netherlands. 30 minutes before 6 o'clock in the afternoon, evening. Finish. GPS has an altitude function, but it's not approved for normal use yet. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, there's Trakayar. Let's go into that cloud. Still taking care of that restriction area here. Because I don't want to fly in restricted areas. What might be interesting can I do that? What is the indication of a steep turn on the turn indicator? I mean, it has a max, obviously. Let's see if I can fly a steep turn, as much steep as I can make it, I think. Without an artificial horizon. Perhaps this would be the end of my little cute Cessna 172 and I ditch in the ocean, but let's see. We're flying west, we'll make a left, first time first, steep turn to the left.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha, radio check.
Here you 505 Evanek.
Thanks.
Let me see. Yeah, it's already not working. Let's also, let me unfix it or unbroke it and now build it. Yeah, this is much more confusing. Okay. 3000 is fine for this airspace. So 3000 feet. 3000 feet. Left steep turns. And I guess I just go full deflection with the turn indicator. Let's see if I can do that. Don't need the clock. Alright. More power. Let's fly a little bit to the west here. Here we go. Oh, let's strain level. Okay. Trim a bit. Just a bit, Tim, not that much. Alright, steep turn, left turn, without an artificial horizon. This will be my death. Here we go. Something like this. I don't know if I'm already overshooting. This is hard. A little bit more, a little bit more. Yeah, I can see. No, this is not working. This is cheating. This is cheating. Pause. I would like to have no visibility. I think there's a button here where I can do the same thing here with my iPad. But let's just do it this way. That is better. Okay. First stabilize. To the south. There we are. And 3000 feet.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha, radio check.
5x5. Alright. It's too much nose down. First stabilize.
Hey Tim, did the reality expansion pack work straight away on with the rep for you? I can't seem to be able to transmit on PilotEdge.
It worked just fine with me. I didn't tweak anything. It should just work.
Alright, I will do some more tweaking, see if I can fix it. Thank you.
Well, let me know, because then I can send your feedback to the guys.
Yeah, I'll do that, thank you.
Okay. South. 3000. Let's make a right turn now. I see the restricted area. More power. A little bit nose up. That's a standard rate turn. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Yeah, also my XP Realistic now is giving me information because my head is automatically tilted. But still, it's interesting. Let's go to the... I don't know what our starting heading was actually. Come on, focus. This is interesting. That was an unusual attitude, I can tell you. Whoa. All right. Focus. Focus, 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 focus. This is interesting. Guys, this is an unusual attitude. Can you see how you can fuck up? This is interesting. First trainer level. Too much nose up. Down. Control. Control. Focus on one thing first. That was so valuable. Did you see? I totally lost the track. Oh, I'd like to do that once more. I cannot wait for Mireille to set me up for an unusual altitude and correct for that with partial instruments. Without the artificial horizon, it's so difficult. That was interesting. Okay, 0.6. More power. Steep turnish. More. This is not steep turnish. What's also quite tricky is that the vertical speed indicator is actually lagging behind. And that my turn indicator doesn't show me whether I've overturned and I'm already upside down. Wow, this is difficult. Alright, 60-ish. First strain level. It's important to go first strain level because if you pull first rather than go straight, I mean, then you can pull really significant G's, as you can imagine. So first get your wings straight. Wow, this is something else. All right. Yeah, I think I will wait for the unusual attitude exercise for Mireille to do that. But this is really interesting and something really cool to practice. Unusual attitudes. Interesting. Well, that's up next. Let's change the weather back to visibility. Foggy, yeah, it was foggy. Done, apply. All right. Heading to Oceano. Fly a little bit this way. Don't go down too fast. Speed is good. Okay. A little bit of a trim. Why do I put in right rudder there? Yeah, this is better. Cloud base is around 2000 or 1500. So I'll just circle here, stay outside of the traffic area.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha,
Oceano.
radio check.
5x5.
Roger, it's working now, thank you.
Good. Okay. Circling down. That attitude indicator, my gosh. It's such a central instrument. I mean, boom, now it works. Oh, need to go a little bit more nose up. A little bit less steep. There we go, stabilized. Thanks for the follow, Mob. The attitude indicator is your best friend in IMC. T-Max, don't attract a vacuum failure. Or build in an additional one. Or fly with synthetic vision in your flights. Let's continue descending, Tim.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha crossing the runway at number 11, Oceano.
Come on, give me that view. Or did I still set the visibility to? No, I didn't. Or I did. Why is the visibility still bad? I thought I changed it. Foggy? No. Oh, huh? Runway visual range, visibility. Hoppa. That makes a difference, I guess. Yeah. All right. There we are. There's Oceano. Right. Oceano traffic, Yellow Skyhawk is 4 miles southwest of the airport, inbound for the 45-degree entry on the left downwind for runway 29 to do some touch and goes. Oceano. Alright, landing lights on. Let's have some traffic pattern flying fun. And then it's about time for me to close off and have dinner. That's traffic pattern altitude. One bunch of flaps there. Not see any other traffic. I did hear Evanek on the radio. Crossing the numbers, taxiing to 29, I guess. A little bit more power. Don't see any AI or other traffic nearby. Thanks for the follow, 06. Happy Tuesday, welcome on board. Almost there. That's good to me. Oceano traffic, Yellow Skyhawk is now on the left downwind 29 for some touch and goes. Oceano. And there's 29. A bit flying away from the traffic pattern here. Give myself a little bit more room. See some traffic in the far distance ahead. Not a factor, I guess. I hope. Yeah, there's Evanek. Holding short. Let's start that descent already. Thanks for the follow, Jamie. Welcome.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Fix Alpha, taking off runway 29er for touch and goes, Oceano.
Alright. Nice. Far away, I guess. Oceano traffic, Yellow Skyhawk is now turning left base 29 for touch and goes. We have the traffic on the runway inside Oceano. There goes the train. Haha, nice to see. Are. Speed seems good. Second notch of flaps. A little bit of a nose up trim. Oceano traffic, Yellow Skyhawk is turning final runway 29. Touch it goes, Oceano. You can see Evanek on the upwind there. Good.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha, turning left crosswind, runway 29 and touch and go, Oceano.
Alright, still a little bit nose up trim here. Again, trimming is key for a smooth touchdown, or a stabilized approach is key for a good touchdown. Even a good traffic pattern is key for a good touchdown. It's all about stabilizing. If you need to fiddle too much just before takeoff or just before your touchdown, forget about it.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha, turning left downwind, runway 29er, touch and go, Oceano.
Alright, let's focus here. Short runway. Good. Not perfect, but good. Slow on the nose. Right rudder, 60, rotates. Keep the nose a little bit down here to get to VY first. Oceano traffic, Yellow Skyhawk is on the upwind, 29. Left close traffic. Oceano. A bit more nose down. Looks good. Some traffic there in front of us, high up. Not a factor. Alright, 300 feet below traffic pattern altitudes. That's our time to make our crosswind turn. Usually the rule to follow. So, almost there. Oceano traffic, yellow Skyhawk turning left crosswind 29. Touch and goes, Oceano.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha turning left base, runway 29, touch and go, Oceano.
Alright, nice pace there, we're nicely separated. It's good. Here comes traffic pattern altitude. There's Evanek. Allow the airspeed to increase. Oceano traffic, yellow Skyhawk is turning left downwind 29, touch it goes, Oceano. And there we are. Good. It's time to trim a bit. Alright, I can see Evanek over there.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha on the final runway 29, touch and go, and I'll be flying very slowly for a moment, do some traffic on the runway, Oceano.
Roger. Alright, so there's some other traffic on the runway. Perhaps that's the AI. Or perhaps I didn't understand what he was saying, but... 1 notch flaps. We're slower than 100 knots, 110 knots actually. But 100 is a better memory point, I guess. What's also good practice is to not change your throttle that much, to change your RPMs not too much during a traffic pattern. Actually, that change is not too good for the engine. So it's good to fly RPMs almost. Like to hear Evanek on the upwind. Still waiting. Oceano traffic, yellow Skyhawk is turning left base 29. Oceano. What a nice scenery here. The Oceano area. There's our base.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha on the upwind runway 29, touch and go, Oceano.
Roger, that's good to hear. Okay. Can also make sure that no one is just coming in for a straight in on final on non-towered airports. That's quite often the case. Also Nordo traffic that is not transmitting on the radio. Oceano traffic, yellow Skyhawk is now turning final 29, touch and goes, Oceano. Let's do one more lap and then call it a day. Nose up trim.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha turning left crosswind runway 29er, touch and go, Oceano.
Again, everything is on, lights are on, make sure you fill in. It's also a good check to include is your parking brake, that it's released before landing. You can imagine what would happen. Now, it would be weird, I guess, during flight why you should set your parking brake.
And Oceano traffic,
But
Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha turning left downwind runway 29er, touch and go, Oceano.
better be sure than sorry. Alright, let's decrease to 65 knots. Slow down to 65 knots. Let's see if we can now touch down on the center line and also keep the nose wheel up for a bit and go for a very smooth nose down touchdown. Because it's a sensitive piece of the aircraft. all that energy. And nose down. Good. That's much better. Power. Hump here on the runway. There we go. Keep that nose down. EY. There it comes. Alright. Let's trim a little bit nose down here. Good. And there we go. Final leg. Final lap. Peter, I could do that, Peter.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha turning left base, runway 29er, touch and go, Oceano.
Let me know, Peter, what instrument would you like me to disable for this last traffic pattern? All of them? Let me know. Finish. Fail the airspeed indicator. Okay, that's first. So, that one is disabled right now. Oceano traffic, yellow Skyhawk is turning left crosswind for runway 29, this time for a full stop. Oceano. There's 1000.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha turning final, runway 29er, touch and go, Oceano.
Okay. So, airspeed indicator is not working. Oceano traffic, yellow Skyhawk is now turning left downwind, 29, full stop, Oceano. Alright, I hear the winds, I'm just listening. Which is actually something that I do also with an airspeed indicator that is working. Also, can you, I look at the pitch, I can just feel the airplane become heavy. One notch of flaps there. A little bit less power. You can just feel it on the yoke. I'm pushing down. There's just a lot of energy there. A little bit to the left here, heading box straight at the bottom. There goes Evanek. Already descend a bit. Quite far from the runway. If we got an engine out right now, I don't know if I can make it. So let's go a little bit closer here. Thanks for the follows, guys. Allison, thanks. And C, thank you. Also for the follow earlier. Still, I feel I'm good. A little bit up.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha turning left crosswind, runway 29er, full stop, Oceano.
And Evanek is lining up as well for a shutdown. Alright, I think this would be a good turn. Is any other traffic here? Good. Oceano traffic. Yellow Skyhawk is turning left base runway 29, full stop, Oceano. Now, I don't know if I'm in the right speed to set my second notch of flaps. I need to be within the wide band to do that. So just to make sure.
And Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha turning left downwind, runway 29er, full stop, Oceano.
Yeah, this feels good. Let's check briefly. Yep, that was a correct decision. Again, airspeed indicator is failed. But I was just curious to see whether I just ripped off my flaps from my wings because I was going too fast, but I wasn't. Actually going a little bit too slow, perhaps with 10 degrees of flaps. Oceano traffic, yellow Skyhawk is now on final, runway 29 for a full stop, Oceano. Alright. Now let's butter this landing today. Still going a little bit too
Oceano
fast.
traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha turning left base, runway 29 full stop, and we have the traffic on final side, Oceano.
Ah, that's good for him to let me know, so I don't need to be worried that he's flying on my back. A bit nose up trim here. Still, we're going quite fast actually. Or fast, I'm almost full idle. Oh shit, I was forgetting that my airspeed indicator didn't work. I just forgot. I just forgot about that. And
Oceano traffic,
slowly
Skyhawk
nose
Alpha
down.
Victor Alpha
Perfect.
turning final runway 29 full stop, Oceano.
That was interesting. So that's also one of the dangers or risks of having a failed instrument, is that it doesn't say I'm failed, or it doesn't cover itself up. So even though I knew that the airspeed indicator was not working, especially now because the airspeed was quite similar to what I would expect to fly, I just forgot about it. And I thought, 65, I'm still going 65, I'm really on low RPM, what is happening here? Until I remembered that it was failed. Expedite our exit here for Evanek. Ocean traffic at Skyhawk is clear of the runway, Ocean. Which I should actually say behind the threshold line. But and lights off, strobe lights off, lean for ground. Thanks, Peter. Oh, I'm braking a bit. That's the sound. Toes at the bottom. Evanek just lands there, far distance. Nice landing. Alright, let's park somewhere around here. Much more difficult now to make turns in comparison to the stock 172. Much more realistic this way. Ah, come on. Good. Good.
Oceano traffic, Skyhawk Alpha Victor Alpha is clear of directive runway, Oceano.
Something like this. And there's Evanek. It's so nice to fly on PilotEdge. And again, Evanek, thank you for joining. Much appreciated. Makes it a little bit more cozy here in the pattern. And it's also good practice. And for anyone who's watching, if you've got your own PilotEdge account, feel free to jump aboard and fly with me here on PilotEdge in the pattern or whatever flight we're doing. I think that's really, really fun. Okay, avionics off, cut off. Wait until the prop stops, then the magnetos, so every inch of oil is burned, of fuel is burned in the cylinders, then the battery's off, we set the parking brakes, door open, and release our seatbelts, my real seatbelts here in my seat because I'm totally insane, and there we are. Thanks for the follow, NF. That was my instrument flying practice. That was so interesting. And what's most interesting, I thought was the unusual attitude. When I was doing the steep turn exercise, which is silly without an artificial horizon, suddenly I overturned, I guess, and I dropped down. And suddenly I saw, the only thing I saw was just instruments with really extreme readings. And I just needed a few seconds. Just a second or so to just pick one instrument and say, okay, first it's level. First is level, turn indicator. Get that level first and then focus on pitch. But what I then noticed is that because the vertical speed indicator was so extreme nose down position, I thought I needed to really push on that yoke. And what happened was that then, and especially because the vertical speed indicator is lagging a bit behind, I went up with my nose, I guess, straight up into the sky, much too extreme. So I think the lesson there would be, even in unusual attitudes, but we're going to practice this in the next stream, where Mireille will set me up and I will not look, and she will set me up in a strange attitude here in IMC, or first in marginal VMC, with a broken artificial horizon. Once you focus on your primary instruments, always use minor corrections. They should be quick. You need to be assertive there, but extreme sudden kind of yoke deflections are not good, and that's what I noticed here. So that was interesting. Already a peek into one of the upcoming streams where I'm going to practice again partial instrument flying, but then with unusual attitudes and stalls in marginal VMC first, and I think that's really, really educational. Okay, let's have a very quick look
Disconnected.
at the landing because that's always nice to do. Here we go. Control P. Here you can see our flights here. Our flight around and all the circling and stuff. We're quite far away from the coast. You can see. Nice traffic patterns. Let's have a look. Second notch of flaps there, making that turn without an airspeed indication. There we come in. Oh yeah, with the door open. Let's see. That's a nice view. I love X-Plane. All right. Let's have a look. Thanks, Evanek. Same to you, sir. Thank you for joining once more. All right. There we go. You can see the shadow here coming in. Nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up. Nose wheel still up and gradually down. Yeah. Good. So again, what you would like to see is you can see some smoke here. Or some dust once your main wheels hit the runway. And you'd like to see a little bit of time in between the main wheels hitting the runway and the nose wheels. You can see here, boom, that was the touching of the main wheels. Time, 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 hit. That's good. It's a sensitive piece of the aircraft here. So you'd like to really gently put the nose down, which I think is a bit different than flying an airliner, where you actually like to fly it a little bit more into the runway. But hey, good, pleased with that. Oh, I guess the Simcoders sounds are not really location specific because you can still hear the engine there. That's interesting. Oh yeah. Oh no, Shadow. That's wonderful. Oh, right. Thank you, Snipe, for that compliment. Yeah, I thought it was a nice landing as well. Guys, that completes my flight of today. Instrument flying. That was so much fun. Looking forward to that unusual attitude flying, because I think that is going to be really, really challenging. It would take me several flights, I guess, to get used to. So important, because you always run the risk of getting yourself into an unusual attitude when you need to fly on instruments, because it's just difficult. So when shit is hitting the fan and you're almost stalling, or your vertical speed indicator is all over the place, you need to be able to recover from that. I like to be able to recover from that. So that's why in the next stream I'm gonna ask or invite Mrs. Uncertified to set me up for unusual attitudes with partial instruments. Most of all, an artificial horizon that is not working. Cannot wait. So that's what we're going to do sometime this week. I think tomorrow, or perhaps the day after that. I don't know. I will announce that, as always, on Twitter, on Discord. So if you are loving this content, be sure to follow me on Twitter so you know ahead of time when I'm going to fly, so you can jump aboard or jump into your own airplane with your PilotEdge account and fly with me doing patterns and stuff. That's always much appreciated. Again, Evanek, thank you for joining the flight, much appreciated, and hoping to see many of you in the next stream. Finish G, Snipe, so many of you here. Also many new followers here. That's wonderful to see. Usually on the Tuesday it's not that busy on Twitch, but it's good to see some of you here jumping aboard and enjoying the content. That's good to see. All right, guys, as always, happy flights, blue skies, and hoping to see you very soon. Bye. Palm Springs Tower, Skylane Hotel Tango, Mike is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000, with information X-ray, unfortunately full stop, landing 13 left if that's available.
Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250, over
Papa Hotel 10, Tango India Mike. Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, so requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes please.
Remember, correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type PC12 slant call request clearance to Vegas S-file.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon, unable to give you S-file, and I'll be forward standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport. We have flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs. Victor 370 to 29 Palms. Victor 538. Cresso. Join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 240 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Plus 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3, and initially climb 7,000, expected for 0 after 5, departure 167, squawk 6316 plus 465.
Plus 4658, read back is correct. Tango India Mike, taxi to ramp via Echo maintenance frequency.
Taxiing to the RAM via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower says the 237 Charlie Alpha approximately 4 miles to the west inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, enter left traffic. Left downwind runway 26 left before base.
Enter left downwind 26 left and report your base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower United 242 on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base shortly.
United 242 John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170 at 13.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Papa Tower King Ever 22 Yankee Kilo ILS runway 24.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 11.
Clear land 2 Yankee Kilo.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land 7 Charlie Alpha. Thank you.
Palm Springs ground plus 4658 is trying to reach the weather, going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Brown 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report to miss.
November 2903 Alpha, you get low approach, runway 9, next report is missing.
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go 3 on right side, bra.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 3 on right plus 465.
Papa Tower King Ever 22 Yankee Kilo located at 24.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, roger, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Via Alpha is going to Kilo Plus.
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Says the 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking base.
Number 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
Number 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed.
November 2903 Alpha going missed.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flight published missed approach procedure. November 2903.
Hyper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency will be 135.4.
135.4 for departure. Number 2903 Alpha.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound ILS 26 left.
Number 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower. Good afternoon, Ontario. Wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction, 516 Delta Mike, clear of the active at uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, roger, taxi in south ramp via Sierra. Remain on this frequency.
Via Sierra on this frequency, 6 Delta Mike.
Riverside Tower, good evening. November 2903 Alpha is with you on the business road on the 27. Press the movement is left and down and on the
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, runway 27, clear to land.
Tail land on line 2703 Alpha. Riverside Lounge, November 2903 Alpha. In Alpha, request taxi to the transient partner.
Number 2903 Alpha Riverside ground. In the future, don't switch to the ground frequency unless you're told to do so. You should stay with tower, exiting the runway all the way to the hold short point. Stay on this frequency for now. Taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Taxi to ramp via Alpha. Roger, November 2903 Alpha.
General clearance, November 76, Charlie Mike, type Cherokee. I would like to attempt the I-4 rating today.
Cherokee 76 Charlie Mike, John Wayne clearance. Good evening. Good luck on the I-4 destination. Will be, let's go, that's Kilo, Oscar, X-ray, Romeo.
That's Kilo, Oscar, X-ray, Romeo. 6 Charlie Mike.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
I'm going to sign off and collect some information for this destination. I'll sign back in. Okay?
Absolutely. Just report when you're back with the I-4. And how long do you think it'll be? It's not going to be more than an hour, is it?
No. I have to file and get some charts and plates.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll still be here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we'll look for your flight plan to come through. I'll let you clearance up.
Las Vegas Tower Plus 4658 is unusual, 19 right, 4500.
Plus 4658 Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, clear to land, wind 1807.
Clear to land, 19 right, 4658.
Plus 658, exit right, taxi into the ramp via hotel, remain on this frequency. Good day.
Exit right, right via hotel, main frequency, have day 4658.
Long Beach ground, number 953 Whiskey Alpha's Piper Comanche PA24/Alpha. Like taxi the active VFR east departure with weather.
Calling Long Beach ground, you just verify your call sign, please.
Sorry about that. 916 Whiskey Alpha, November 916 Whiskey Alpha.
Comanche 916 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach ground, roger. And just confirm VFR eastbound.
Eastbound, and we're at the east ramp just south of runway 25 right.
Comanche 916 Whiskey Alpha, roger. Runway 26 right, taxi via Kilo.
Okay, 25 right via Kilo, 916 Whiskey Alpha. Long Beach Tower, November 916 Whiskey Alpha, holding short of 25 right at Kilo, ready for departure via Fargo East.
Number 916 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Tower, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, right downwind departure approved.
Clear for takeoff 25 right, right downwind departure 6 Whiskey Alpha.
Good day, Palm Springs. Ground scanning Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike on the east ramp with India. Close traffic, runway 31 right.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs ground. Say again, aircraft type.
We're a Cessna Skyline.
Skyline Tango, India Mike, thank you. Runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Echo and Bravo, 31 right.